Hey guys, StanbyLuke7 here. Gonna be talking some more Cold War today. Last video was mostly skill-based matchmaking focused. Talked about the graphics a little bit at the end, but mostly skill-based matchmaking focused. That's just kind of what I figured it would be, and that's what it ended up being. In this video, I want to talk a little bit more about the created class, the weapons, stuff like that. And we're gonna cover like a range of topics here, but it's mostly gonna be centered around that. So topics of other videos, like I might talk about the maps in the next one, I'm thinking, and we'll get to the other modes like the campaign, the zombies, stuff like that. Other specifics with the multiplayer, but in this one I just want to talk about created class, weapons, stuff like that. Okay, so first off, the progression. I wanted to start off with this because this ties pretty heavily into my biggest negative in this video. So the progression of your multiplayer rank, so just like your base normal Call of Duty 1 to 55, seems fine to me. Like the rate seems fine. Is it like particularly slower, particularly faster than previous CODs? I honestly don't know. I don't know if anybody has done the math on that. I'm sure somebody has. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if I can get like a good tell from what I've been playing. But all I can say is that it doesn't feel too long. It feels fine to me. I think it's okay. Now, that's just your multiplayer rank, which also I believe progresses with zombies. I think zombies and multiplayer progress the same rank. Does Warzone progress it as well? I think. I'm not exactly sure because I don't play Warzone, so I don't know, but maybe it does. I feel like it might. But I know multiplayer in this game and zombies do for sure, so that's really cool. I was a fan when zombies had its own rank, but personally, I think that combining them is better. I think it's better. Having the separate progression systems in like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 could almost be overwhelming if you liked both the modes, but having them combined and being able to play whichever mode and have your progression go towards your just overall rank either way is pretty convenient, pretty nice. So that's great. Getting into the created class and more specifically the weapons, I want to talk about a progression that I don't think is that great, and that's your weapon level. I'm not sure if zombies contributes to your weapon level, like your same weapon level as well. I'm actually about to check that because I don't know. But at least for multiplayer, the weapon levels right now, in my opinion, take way too long to progress. So let me give you an example from what I've been playing so far. So I am level 45 in Cold War. That is my, I guess you could just say like overall. Oh, it looks like they do cross progress, by the way, the zombies, and I have the game loaded up in the background. It looks like they do cross progress the weapon level of zombies multiplayer as well. That is sweet. Anyways, they have separate camos though, I believe. So you'd have to play multiplayer to get the multiplayer camos and zombies to get the zombies camos. Anyways, just wanted to check on that. But the weapon level progression feels way too slow in my opinion. So again, with my example, multiplayer level 45, no prestige, just level 45. Okay, so that means I've put. I could check on Xbox to see what Xbox says, or maybe I can check in the barracks in the game. But let's say like 8 to 9 hours. Let me see. Okay, barracks in the game says about 8 hours, 7 hours 50 minutes. So about 8 hours. Okay, so I put about 8 hours into multiplayer so far, and it's gotten me to that level 45 multiplayer rank, which I think is acceptable. But what I don't think is acceptable is that I've only used pretty much 2 guns, aside from like I think 1 to 2, maybe 3 games where I used like the AK. Aside from that, I've almost exclusively used the MP5 and the M4. That is almost entirely what I have used. Again, there was like a couple games where I used the M16, a couple games where I used the AK, but overall, I don't think my gameplay with other guns has even added up to like an hour of my playtime. It maybe is like 30 to 40 minutes, if that. So, again, 7 hours, 40 minutes, pretty good chunk of that. I'm pretty confident to say about 7 hours of that has been with the M4 and the MP5. I suppose the combat record's actually pretty nice in this game. I might be able to check the combat record to, prove that. It doesn't look like it. I don't think you can see like your time spent with the gun and the combat record. But anyways, So let me look at my eliminations. So I have 1,000 limbs with the MP5. I have 588 with the M4. Okay, so about, let's just say 600. So 600 with the M4, 1,000 with the MP5. All right. I am weapon level 51 with the MP5 and 40 with the M4. So let me see what the max weapon level is. I believe it's 56. So it looks like it's 50. It looks like it's 55 with the MP5. Looks like 55 is the max weapon level. With the M4, I believe it's the same, but I'll double check real quick. Yeah, it looks like it's the same. And in Modern Warfare, I think what they did is they had like the weapons would have their like specific attachments and stuff like that. So like not every gun would have the exact same attachment track and the exact same progression. So you'd have like the M4 would have like 71 weapon levels, the Kilo would have like 69, the AK would have like 63 or something. I don't remember. I think my numbers on the other two were right. I don't remember what the AK was. But there'd be some variety. In Cold War, I think it's closer to the same. I mean, let me check the AK here too. AK's 55. So yeah, it looks like in Cold War they try to keep the attachments pretty close to the same across the different weapons. Yeah, even the LMG is 55. So it seems like it's flattened out, unlike MW where the guns would have like their own specific weapon level progression. So anyways, they all seem to be 55 unless a weapon class isn't 55, because every one that I've checked so far has been 55. So it looks like they all are. Maybe the secondaries are different. Okay, the secondaries are different, but the primaries, it seems that they all are 55. And like I was just saying, it just seems like it takes too long, in my opinion, to complete these. Like, again, 8 hours of gameplay. 1,000 eliminations, and in my combat record it says that that's about that's like the elims, right? So the assists, but my total kills, so just my kills, not even just the assists added in, but just the kills. I'm even at 900 with the MP5 and about 500 with the M4 for just talking straight up kills, not the assists. I don't even think it matters. I'm pretty sure the assist or the kill, it doesn't matter. I think elims, I think it's just the same amount of points. I don't even think that matters, but I just thought I'd bring that up. And I'm still not max level. I'm level 51. So remember when I said 55 for all of them? I'm 51 with the MP5 at over 1,000 eliminations. I'm 40 with the M4 at around 600 eliminations. And personally, I just think it takes too long, especially because I think you can prestige weapons in this game as well. I'm pretty sure in Modern Warfare, yeah, I'm pretty sure in Modern Warfare you couldn't. I think you can prestige them in this game. Unless I'm wrong, I don't know because I haven't gotten a weapon to max level yet. So I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure I heard either Vonderhaar or Tony Flame, I don't recall. Maybe it was in an article talking about how you could prestige. Maybe it was in that progression article talking about how you could prestige weapons. So you can prestige these weapons, but right now, which some people would prefer over MW where you couldn't do that, I don't know if I want to. Like, it's been such a grind. These first couple days, it's been such a grind for me to finish out one of these guns, and it's taken so long. And I gotta think, like, how are casual players, which is what Call of Duty is hardcore marketing towards right now, let's be honest, like, they are really hardcore trying to target casual players with these two recent releases. How the hell are casual players gonna get to play around with all the unlocks? Like, again, 8 hours of gameplay, split not evenly, but like I'd say like 2/3 of mine has been spent with the MP5 roughly, and about 1/3 with the M4, and I don't have either of them max level. Like, I've spent a lot of time. I've played a lot of games. I've gotten a ton of eliminations, way more than the average player would in the amount of games and the amount of time that I have played. And I'm still working on it. I've still got a ways to go. It's probably still going to take me another 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, because the progression really, it definitely progressively takes longer as you go through the levels. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish it out. I'm sure the next day that I play after I'm done recording this, I'll probably get the MP5 done. But holy shit, dude. I am not really enjoying how long it takes to level up these weapons. And I think that it disencourages weapon variety in pubs. Like a big complaint that a lot of people have been saying, and now part of it is skill-based matchmaking, but a lot of people have been complaining about the MP5 and I don't know, like the M4 stuff like that, like just seeing the same guns in pubs. And honestly, I don't think it's necessarily people's fault. Like people want to max out a gun because the more attachments you get in this game, the gunsmith in this game seems to be more linear. I don't think it's completely linear. I wouldn't say that, but it seems to be more linear than the gunsmith in Modern Warfare. Where Modern Warfare you could like kind of find your loadout, you could kind of find like certain attachment combos that would work for like your playstyle. In this game, it seems to be again not entirely, but definitely a bit more linear where the later attachments are going to be what you're going to want to run. Like you're probably not going to want to run one of the first 2 or 3 attachments that you unlock for a gun. You're probably going to want to run one of the last 2 to 3. So yeah, like your guns get better the longer you stick with it. So I think people just like pick a gun early on, and the first SMG that you start off with is the MP5. The first AR is the M4. So I think a lot of people are just doing what I did, which is you pick a gun early on. You're like, okay, I'm gonna max this gun. I'm gonna get the attachments. I'm gonna soup it up, and it's gonna be great. And it just takes a long ass time. It just takes a long ass time. Like the average player is not gonna have their first weapon maxed out probably for like I don't know, at least 3 to 4 days, maybe a week. And a casual player that only gets like a couple hours to play, it's going to take them like 2 weeks of playing the game consistently for those like 2 hours that they get a day or whatever they play to get a weapon maxed out. Like, it is insane, man. It is insane. I like progression. I like progression in games. I like progression in Call of Duty. I love unlocking camos. I love going through the multiplayer ranks, prestige. I love unlocking the different attachments for my weapons and doing weapon prestiges. I did it in Black Ops 4 a lot, and I really enjoyed going through the pubs and doing that in Black Ops 4. But in this game right now, I'm not really enjoying that aspect of it. I'm to the point with my MP5 where I'm like, bro, let's just get this fucking over with. Like, how much longer do I need to play to max out the gun? It's legitimately like impacting my enjoyment of the game. Like, it's frustrating me. So I definitely think that needs some adjustment. I don't think, like, considering I'm a hardcore player, I play Call of Duty a lot, I probably get way more hours than most people, and that I am frustrated at this. I'm very concerned with how, again, average and casual players are going to receive this, because I think they would be even more frustrated with it, with how long it takes if I put a bunch more time in, and I even think it's ridiculous. So I would like to see Treyarch adjust these numbers a little bit. I definitely think they're a bit too grindy with these weapons, and it's like I said, it's something to the point where it's impacting my enjoyment of the game. So I would like to see that tuned. Now that we're done with that, we're just, like I said, I just want to, we'll get to more stuff in the creative class in later videos. I kind of just want to focus on the guns in this one. So one thing that's really cool, wanted to bring this up, the weapon statistics. So when you go to the weapons in the game, when you go to the gunsmith, you can look at the statistics, and you can like see how certain attachments affect the statistics on your gun, and you can see what the actual stats are on your gun in general. This is amazing. So if you're like someone that was not a fan of like the stat bars, because they're inaccurate, and I mean, even if they were accurate, they don't really give you like the full picture of like what's going on. They don't really paint a good picture, right? Like you can't really get a great idea of how your gun's going to perform just looking at the stat bars. So now you can actually see those stats. You can actually like inspect your weapon and see those stats, and see how the different attachments impact those stats. And from what I've been told, those numbers are mostly accurate. Are they entirely accurate? Apparently not. Or apparently like with the damage stats, they don't have the damage ranges. Like anybody that's familiar with gun stats in Call of Duty knows that that damage ranges are a thing, and that guns will have this damage at this distance, but then at this certain distance it'll drop off a little bit, and then at another distance it'll drop off a little bit, and it only just shows like the closest damage. So it's not like entirely wrong. Apparently there are a couple stats that are like entirely wrong, but for the most part I believe that the vast majority of the stats are actually accurately represented in the gunsmith in this game, and that's amazing. That's something that MW absolutely should have done, in my opinion. MW should have been the game to bring that in with the gunsmith. And I'm glad that Black Ops Cold War is the game to finally, it was only one game ago that introduced gunsmith, but I mean finally introduce it in the terms of like, I've wanted hardcore gun stats like numbers for so long, and MW with the gunsmith just exacerbated it. It just made me want it more, because it was like, how do you have this gunsmith system and have it be like fun without the numbers? The numbers, Mason. But no, seriously though, that's actually funny. Of course Black Ops would bring it in. But like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, it's just like if you're playing an RPG and you're like comparing items, they give you the numbers. They give you the numbers, and you're like, oh, okay, this affects my DPS by that much, and this affects my overall damage by this much, but I want to go with the DPS here. It's a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like in an RPG, you get those stats, and it helps inform your decision. But with the gunsmith and MW, you didn't get the stats, and you just kind of had to guess and try stuff out, and it just felt kind of bad. I really like that I can just look at it and be like, oh, okay, I can figure this out before I run into a game and try out the gun. I don't have to necessarily, play out a whole game to feel things out. I mean, you still want to feel stuff out, right? But you can actually, like, make a judgment call based on the numbers instead of always having to try something, having to put it on. Which is really nice, really nice. Again, I appreciate that a lot. I'm glad that the numbers are mostly accurate. Not perfect, apparently, but it's still pretty good. And I gotta say, like, major shout out to Treyarch for that. Super appreciate that. Freaking awesome quality of life change. I'm super glad that that's finally in COD. Let's wrap things up here. I want to talk about the camos. I like the camos in this game for the most part. Camo challenges seem pretty decent. A lot of stuff that we're used to, and none of them seem to be too bad. So like how the weapon, the gun level grinding was really bad. The camo grinding, from what I'm looking at with these camo challenges, doesn't seem to be as bad, except for maybe the zombies camos. The zombies camos look a little intense. But I don't know. I mean, the zombies camos were pretty ridiculous in Black Ops 4 as well. So maybe, I don't know how they were in Black Ops 3, but maybe that's just like the norm of zombies camos. They some of these zombies camos, the requirements seem a little grindy. But for multiplayer, they seem fine, and I've been enjoying like working on the camos again in multiplayer. Whereas with MW, some of those challenges in MW were not particularly fun. I'm looking at you, mounted kills. I really never want to do mounted kills for a camo challenge ever again. I would be totally content if I never had to do that another time in Call of Duty. In any Call of Duty game. That fucking sucked ass. There's nothing as bad as that in this game, from what I can see, unless I'm missing something. If I'm missing something, let me know, but it doesn't seem to be that way for me. So, love to see that. I love that I'm actually going to enjoy the camo grind again this year, and I may actually partake in it this year, whereas last year, I kind of just did the guns that I enjoyed, and I didn't really like go for Dark Matter. Black Ops 4 I did it. I might actually do it in this game again as well. Okay, so that's it for this video. Touched on the camos, touched on the gunsmith, the progression, stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the progression in the comments. Your guys' thoughts. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Again, for me, I think the normal multiplayer progression. I also don't know how the prestige works still. Like, I want to see it in game with the season system and this weird combination they're doing. I want to see how that plays and if I actually enjoy it, because that was one of the biggest negatives of MW season. Is I just preferred prestiges. I thought prestiges were more fun, and I'm curious to see if this Black Ops Cold War system is enjoyable. I don't know, but I guess we're gonna find out. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Those are my thoughts on this topic, and yeah, we'll get to. I think we'll do maps next. We'll get to maps in the next video, and see you next time.